Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Really excited for this lesson because it is the top of the mountain. We talked about the Spanish verb universe. We know there are 10 things you can do to a verb, 0 through 9. We know that 0 is the infinitive, leave it alone. 1 is the ing, the ando, yendo. 2 is the past participle, the ed form, the ado, ido. And then we start with number 3 is present tense, 4 is preterite, and 5 is imperfect. Up to this point, we've done 0, 1, and 2, and then we've done tenses 3, 4, and 5. We have 6 and 7, the future and the conditional. We can cover those in one lesson. You'll see, it's going to be exciting. And then 8 and 9, the subjunctives, we're going to leave those to later on, but we will be getting to those and we will reach the pinnacle of communication in the Spanish language. So up to our point right now, we're in the lessons, we're in the 90s now, okay? We know the verb universe goes from 0 to 9. Again, 0 is the infinitive, trabajar, ir, comer, leer. You leave it alone. 1 is the ing form, trabajando, comiendo, corriendo, estudiando, viendo. And that is the present participle, the ing form. Then we have the past participle, that is the ado, ido, that is the ed form, like trabajado, worked, comido, eaten, studied, estudiado, corrido, run, etc. All right, then we have number 3, which is the present tense. With all those stem changing verbs, right? All those stem changes happen in all but nosotros. We've done those. We've done the preterite, and we know we have stem changing there when we found out that they change in the el and ellos form. And of course, we just finished up our study of the imperfect, the second of the 2 past tenses in Spanish. So if you look at all 10 numbers, numbers 0, 1, and 2 are not actual verb tenses because we don't conjugate them. Right? We just leave the infinitive alone, the AR, ER, or IR form. The ING, it's just ando or yendo. We don't conjugate it, that's it. And then the past participle, the 2, is the ado, ido, and we don't change that either. But where we do conjugate verbs would be verb tenses 3, 4, 5, which we have done. And then 6 and 7, conditional and future, will be one big lesson. And then 8 and 9 are the 2 subjunctives. Okay. But I want to tell you that 7 is a big number in Spanish. Of the verb universe, the 10 planets, 7 are verb tenses that we conjugate and we change the verb. We have today the simple verb construction. If you've got one verb, like you say, like I went to the movies, fui al cine, it rained yesterday, llovió ayer, I saw the movie, vi la película, they called me, me llamaron. When there's only one verb involved, it's called a simple verb tense because there's only one verb. We have 3 others, but they're so simple. We've already done them. Yes, we have already done these in different lessons, but not in the depth that we're going to start looking at it today. And remember, today is a sneak peek. We call these 4 guys the Fab 4. We talked about the verb universe being finite. Well, what happens if you get 2 verbs together? Well, if you take each verb individually, they're going to be 0 through 9, no doubt about it. But if you put 2 verbs together, like, for example, está lloviendo, it is raining. Well, está is a present tense, and lloviendo is the ing. That's the present participle. So the present tense is a 3, number 3, verb number 3. And the ing would be a 1, the present participle. So that would be what we call a 31. So in Spanish, we have 3 types of verb constructions. We have verb constructions where there's only one verb involved. Those are called simple, okay? And that's what we did so far with the present, preterite, and imperfect. Those are all one verb constructions. They're simple. Now, we've done some perfect, like I have not eaten, no he comido. Remember, we introduced the verb haber. It's the auxiliary verb in Spanish, much like to have in English. This is not to have like tener, to have money, to have friends, to have time. This is to have like have done something, have seen something, have heard something. So they are as, a, hemos, an. The H is silent. So we take the verb haber in the present tense, which we have here, right? And then we add our hado, ido. And this is called a perfect tense. Why do they call it a perfect tense? Well, way back when, perfect meant completed, a completed tense. So if I want to say, I have eaten, I would take a, H-E, over here. Then I would take comer, take the ER off, and add IDO. He comido, I have eaten. Okay? If I want to say, we have finished, take the verb terminar. We have finished would be hemos terminado. They call it a perfect tense because there are two verbs involved, right? It's a compound tense, two verbs involved. And again, it's called perfect again because the perfect tenses back in the day referred to something that was basically completed and over. There are two verbs in the perfect tenses. All you need to know. We have simple tenses and we have three other types of verb constructions. We have the perfect verb constructions and they have two verbs to them. The first part is haber. Haber is circled in red because you have to conjugate it. You have to conjugate it out. And that's what we have here. As, a, hemos, and an. And then you follow with the past participle. Notice that is not circled because you just take whatever the past participle is and that's it. So those are the perfect tenses, if you will, the perfect verb construction. Now we have the progressive verb construction. It's also two verbs together. Like again, you say, it is raining, está lloviendo. Well, está is present tense, that's a verb number 3. Lloviendo is a present participle, ing, verb number 1. So that is what we call a 31, está lloviendo. How do you form it? What is the formula? You take the verb estar, notice it's circled. That means that you need to conjugate the verb estar, and then you just take the ing form, and you're done. If I want to say like, the dog is barking, el perro está ladrando. If I want to go in the imperfect and say the dog was barking, we know that's aba. El perro estaba ladrando. This is the sum totality of all Spanish, right? I never learned this when I was in school in 4 years of Spanish. I never saw it taught. I never heard it taught, right? But we're learning it right now because, tell me in English right now, can you say it rains a lot during the winter? Can you say it rained last night? Can you say it used to rain a lot, but not anymore? Can you say it will rain, it would rain? Can you say it is raining, it was raining? Can you say it has rained a lot this year? Can you say it has been raining a lot lately? Of course you can, it's a piece of cake. So in Spanish, my whole approach to Spanish is language learning systems. There are systems intact. I've dissected the language and I've broken it apart into its smallest denomination, its smallest pieces. And we can take any verb and we can put it and manipulate it to say whatever we want. Just again, like in English, let's say like to win, okay? We win, we won, we were winning, we are winning, we had won, we have been winning. You can just, it's just easy, it's automatic. And that's the way it's going to become in Spanish, okay? We are going to manipulate the verb and we will not be in fear or be manipulated by the verbs. So we have simple verbs like the present, preterite, and imperfect where there's only one verb in the conjugation. We have two verbs in the perfect. That's where you have haber with an hado, ido, like they have won the game, han ganado el partido. We have eaten, hemos comido. But hemos is a 3, comido is a 2, so it still falls in the verb universe. If a person speaks for 1 hour in Spanish, every single verb spoken, when it comes down the chute, it's going to be 0 through 9 and nothing else, 0 through 9. However, if you're talking about a compound construction and you have two verbs next to each other, okay, then it's going to be a compound verb tense of which we have 3. Let's look at the progressives. Anything that ends in ing, it's going to be progressive. Now, if it has a start in front like it was raining when I got up, estaba lloviendo, that's a progressive tense. That's an imperfect progressive. It was raining, estaba lloviendo. It is raining right now, está lloviendo. There are two verbs in progressive tenses. You must conjugate estar, however you want it to be, and add the ing form, the ando, yendo. to say what you have done or what has happened, you conjugate haber, like in the present tense over here, has, hemos, han, and you add your past participle. Now, what is this one down here? The perfect progressive. Look, the perfect progressive. This is, watch, it rains, it has rained, it is raining, and this one would be, it has been raining. Oh my gosh, all we're doing is taking, okay, we say here it has rained, which is ha llovido. We're going to take that put it right here, then we're going to take estar in the past participle estado, and then we're going to go with the ing, which we already did here, lloviendo. Ha estado lloviendo. I have been studying a lot. Let's take the verb estudiar. He estado estudiando mucho. She's been eating a lot. Ella ha estado comiendo mucho. Okay? Now notice, the simple construction has one verb. The perfects and the progressives have two verbs. In the perfect progressive, they have three verbs. It's kind of like a catcher giving signals to the pitcher. Okay, we're going to go with a simple verb. Okay, we're going to go with a perfect. We're going to go with a progressive. We're going to go with a perfect progressive, right? They send out the fingers to the pitcher, and he or she knows what kind of pitch is being called by the catcher. So, the Fab Four, the Fabulous Four. There are four types of verb constructions in Spanish. But mind you, they all fall right here in the verb universe. All the verbs used in all these constructions are always 0 through 9. There's nothing more and there's nothing less. We're just saying if you have a compound tense that is 2 or 3 verbs together, that's where they are. That's what they are. Let's take a look at our example. Llover. We know llover in the present tense is a UE stem changing verb, okay? It rains would be llueve, llueve. That's a 3, verb number 3. Oh, let's go preterite. Last night it rained, llovió, accent on the O, llovió. Let's go imperfect, okay? It was raining when I got to work. Llovía cuando llegué al trabajo. Llovía, or it used to rain a lot. Llovía mucho. That's verb number 5, imperfect. Now if I want to say it has rained, okay, look. These 3 are simple tenses because there's just one verb involved, one verb. But here we have 2 verbs. And you have a form of haber, and you have the hado ido. So it's what we call a perfect tense, all right? So it has rained, ha llovido. What's the verb number? Well, a is present tense 3, and 2 is the past participle, ido, ha llovido. This is a sneak peek. What we're doing now is we're scattering seed on the ground, and we're starting to sprinkle it a little bit. When we studied the present tense and went through all those irregulars, I don't expect you to remember those. I expect you to remember more and more as we go through our lessons because just like now, we're seeing stem changing verbs here, right? And once you hit these verbs again and again, you will become more familiar with them. And our best friend, who's our best friend? ¿Quién es nuestro mejor amigo? The language learning module. It starts picking it up and you learn it better and better. And those seeds germinate and they grow into a little strapling, and then they grow into a giant oak tree when you're fluent. So right now we're throwing seeds down. They're going to germinate, they're going to sprout, little strapling, get a leaf here or there, and then the trunk's going to start getting bigger and we're going to branch out. And when you're fluent, right, it's going to be a giant oak tree. Let's go here. It is raining. Well, let's look at it. There's 2 verbs to it, and it ends in ing. It is raining, so that's a progressive. Progressive means it's in progress. It is happening. Ing. It is happening. 2 verbs. You conjugate estar. Está lloviendo. Está is present tense 3, and lloviendo is the ing, so it's a 31. Okay? So anytime you hear ing, it's an ando, yendo, and it's a 1 present participle. I have a t-shirt I'm going to be wearing one of these days. It's Frankenstein in handcuffs. The cops are walking him to the electric chair, and it's so funny because on the bottom of the shirt it says dead man walking. Okay, well, we know Frankenstein's already dead, right? He's a dead man already, but they're going to put him in the electric chair and they're going to hook up to the diodes on his neck and shoot him with electricity. What is that going to do? It's going to make him exponentially stronger, right? So it's funny. But the point I'm making, I said translate. A good key for learning Spanish, translate. Dead man walking. You hear walking, ing, you know it's ando. The verb is caminar. Hombre muerto caminando. Dead man walking. Hombre muerto caminando. Translate. Let's go down here. It has been raining. Ha estado lloviendo. Notice there are three verbs right here, three verbs. It's a perfect because it has an ado ido in it, and it's a progressive because it has an ing. Here's your ado ido. Ha estado lloviendo. It has been raining. Okay? Now, we're going to develop this whole Fabulous Four as we go on with our lessons. This is just an introduction. Let's take a look over here. Nevar is to snow. It's an IE stem change. So in the present tense, we know our AR verb endings are o, as, a, amos, an. So we don't say I snow, you snow, we snow, and they snow. We say it snows. So it's nieva. Remember, it when it's an object is low, but it when there's a subject, there is no word for it. So just nieva, N-I-E-V-A, nieva. I could say it snows a lot in the mountains. Nieva mucho en las montañas. Let's go to the preterite. How would we say it snowed a lot? Well, in the preterite, the endings are e, aste, o, amos, aron. So it snowed would be nevó, N-E-V-O with an accent mark. Nevó, it snowed. How would you say it used to snow a lot? That's the aba, nevaba, nevaba mucho. So we have nieva, nevó, nevaba. It has snowed, piece of cake. It has would be a. Take nevar, ha nevado. Wow, if you live in a climate where there's no snow and you wake up one day and it has snowed, that's huge. Talk about a snow day, that's a snow life. It's great, it's exciting. Not just for little kids, we grown adults love it as well. Ha nevado, it has snowed. Ha nevado. Let's go here. Let's go here. It is snowing. Well, we're going to take está, we're going to take nevar and put the ing. Está nevando. It is snowing. The verb numbers stay the same. How about here? It has been snowing. Ha estado nevando. It has been snowing. Take a peek back here again. When you do your perfects with the ado ido, right? Two verb construction, the haber is what changes. Nothing else changes. Just your past participle. It doesn't conjugate. Just figure out what it is and you're good. When you do the progressives, estar is what conjugates. Not the ing. That's not a verb that conjugates. It's not a verb tense. Ando yendo. When you get down here to the perfect progressive, it's so cool because everything that's here, we've already done in these two. Take a from here, right? The present tense. So that's what conjugates here. We take estado, which is the ado ido form of estar. It doesn't change. It's not circled. And then we take the ing, nevando. Ha estado nevando. It is amazing what you can do with Spanish. We're teaching you to create language. Create language. And please, translate your thoughts. When you hear people talk, translate what you're hearing. When you watch TV, listen to the radio. If they say something like the Dodgers won last night. Okay, ganar. You should identify that as, okay, well, they're talking about the past. So that's going to be for preterite. It happened, it's over. They won, it's an N factor. Ganaron. Los Dodgers ganaron anoche. And you start doing that and you are going to accelerate, warp speed, your Spanish learning. All right, let's go to the verb ganar. Ganar is to win. Let's go present tense. It's regular all the way. This is a layup. In basketball, it's a layup. It's a putt with the golf ball on the lip of the hole. It's a tap in. It's a layup. Okay, let's say we're going to go we. We win. Present tense, ganamos. We won, ganamos. Hey, it's the same. In the present tense, the endings are o, as, a, amos, on. In the preterite, the endings are e, aste, o, amos, on. So ganamos and ganamos. How about here? We used to win. Ganábamos. We take aba, put a mos on the end and an accent back on the a. Abamos. Ganábamos. How about we have won? Well, we need the we have. We come over here and get hemos. Take ganar and put it in the ADO form. Hemos ganado. We have won. I was fortunate to go to the Rams Super Bowl against the Bengals. I'm a big Rams fan. I think you know that. My former students did a GoFundMe. They raised $10,000 in 3 days. I didn't know about it. I said, stop. They sent me to the Super Bowl with my son. And after the game was over, I said, Hemos ganado el campeonato. We have won the championship. Oh my gosh. Lifetime highlight right there. And thank all of you for what you did for me. Oh my gosh. Mucho amor y cariño. Besos, abrazos. Okay, we have won. Hemos ganado. We are winning, right? Rams in that game were losing till very late. Cooper Kupp made a great catch. Matthew Stafford, that no-look pass. We are winning. Estamos ganando. Estamos ganando. We have been winning. Let's say it's a ball club and they're like 5-1 in football, right? And they say, we have been winning. Okay, we're going to take hemos again, and then we're going to take estado. It never changes here. Ganando. Hemos estado ganando. We have been winning. I'm trying to give you power tools, okay? This is not a handheld screwdriver, right? This is not just a hammer and a nail. These are power tools. These are Makita, DeWalt. These are power tools that you can use and really accelerate your learning. Let's go here. Dormir. Dormir. We know that O is going to go to you in the preterite, el and ellos. We know that O to you in the ing is going to show up as well, don't we? Dormir, to sleep. How do you say? Let's go with the I form. I sleep, like I sleep a lot. That would be OD. It's also UE. It's you in the preterite, you in the ing, but it's also UE in the present tense. So I sleep a lot, duermo mucho. Duermo mucho. Preterite, I slept a lot, dormí, with an accent on the I. Dormí mucho. I used to sleep a lot, antes dormía mucho. Accent on the I. Antes dormía mucho. Okay. I have slept a lot. Okay. I have is he dormido. He dormido mucho. Let's go with I am sleeping. Estoy durmiendo. When would you say that? How could you say I'm sleeping if you're awake? But I guess you can. Like somebody calls you up and say, hey, I'm sleeping. Estoy durmiendo. Oh, durmio, durmio. Where art thou? I have been sleeping a lot, right? He estado durmiendo. Bang on these guys, okay? It's like hitting a grand slam. The Fabulous Four, sneak peek. We're scattering seed, right? We're sprinkling the seed. We want them to germinate. Look, there are 4 types of verb constructions. Simple, perfect, progressive, and perfect progressive. Simple is when there's only one verb. Perfect is 2 verbs. Progressive is 2 verbs. Perfect progressive will be 3 verbs. Let's go with pensar. It's an IE stem changing verb in the present tense. Let's go with lo. We're going to use lo to mean it. Now we know lo can also mean him, like llámalo, call him. But we're going to use lo meaning it as an object. I think about it a lot. Okay, the lo goes in front. Lo pienso mucho, present tense. Lo pienso mucho. Let's go to the preterite. I thought a lot about it. You made your decision. You're summarizing. It's over. The thought process is over. I thought a lot about it. Lo pensé, accent on the E, lo pensé mucho. I used to think about it all the time. Imperfect. Abba. Lo pensaba mucho. I've thought about it. You're darn right I've thought about it. Put lo, then take your a, and then go with pensado. Lo he pensado. I'm thinking about it right now. Lo estoy pensando. Lo estoy pensando. I have been thinking about it. Well, let's go rob Peter to pay Paul. Let's go back and take the a here. So we're going to go lo he estado pensando. I have been thinking about it. Lo he estado pensando. It's easy, guys. It's easy. It is so easy. Organization is critical. I don't know where you live and what country you live in, but we all speak Spanish wherever we are. And here, I'm in California. During the holidays, they have big sales and they blow out DVD movies from the past, right? You can walk into a store and there'll be like a 5-foot diameter bin that's about 4 foot tall. And they have literally probably thousands of DVDs just stuffed in there, okay? And they're all mixed up. and you reach and you pull a movie out, and that's not good. You toss it over on the other side of the pile, and you keep going. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. You can't find anything because it's not organized. Well, languages are highly organized. There is a method. There is a system. There are many systems, and that's what we're trying to teach you. The system, so you can organize your thoughts and help that language learning module along. Imagine, we know in the verb universe in Spanish, there are only 10 things you can do to a verb. That's it. Only 10. Imagine those 10 things you can do to a verb were 10 different fruits. Let's say the totality of fruits in the world, there are only 10 fruits in the world. Okay? And let's say that person's speaking for an hour in Spanish. Let's say the verbs are now fruit, right? And so all these fruits come down the chute, all mixed together, and they go into one big bin. You go to the grocery store and you want an apple, and it's mixed in with the 9 other fruits, and you're digging and so on and so forth. What's going to happen with the fruit on the bottom? They're going to get bruised, they're going to soil, they're going to spoil, they're going to rot, they're going to go bad. We need to be organized. Organization is one of the keys to success and accelerating learning. So that's why we have our verb universe, 0 through 9. We know any verb that comes down the chute and comes in here through the eyes or through the ears, we know exactly what it is and what it's trying to say and where it goes. All right, our last one, construir. I didn't want to give you a layup like ganar. I could do that, right? No, we're better than that. Let's go with a Y verb. Okay? Let's go with a Y verb. Let's say they. Let's say they build houses. Okay? Present tense would be construyen with a Y-E-N. Construyen casas. They built a lot of houses. Construyeron casas. Muchas with a Y. They used to build houses. Antes, which means before, antes construían casas. There's no Y in the imperfect. Antes construían casas. You want to say, they have built a lot of houses. They would be on the N factor. They have built would be han construido muchas casas. Han construido muchas casas. Let's go with, they're building a lot of houses. We're going back to the Y. Están construyendo muchas casas. Están construyendo with a Y. They have been building. This is easy. Come on. Han estado construyendo casas. So what do you need to do? You want to play ball in Spanish? What are the rules? The rules are you got to know 0 through 9, and we are 0 through 5. Everything we're doing here is 0 through 5. You can punch your ticket and go across the world with 0 through 5 speaking Spanish. Okay? You can do it all, 0 through 5. But you want to get to the top level, we got to get 8 and 9 in there. Okay? All right, let's take a look here. What did we say? The Fab Four. There are 4 types of verb constructions, not tenses. 4 constructions. They're simple when it's one verb, which is what we've done with the present, preterite, and imperfect. There are perfect tenses with the haber and past participle. There are the progressive tenses with estar and the ando y yendo. And then we have the perfect progressive tenses, 3 words to it, with haber, estado, and ando y yendo. So basically you need to know how to conjugate haber, which would be has, a, hemos, an. You need to know how to do a past participle. Well, we've had a lesson on that, but remember there are irregulars. Hecho, dicho, vuelto, puesto, compuesto, devuelto, and a few others. But we're going to keep practicing those, and they will start sticking more and more and more. And then, of course, the ing. There's not a lot of change to the ing. There's some e to I. There's that durmiendo, and there's some y ones like leyendo, creyendo. But there aren't many irregular ing forms. So you have to know how to do the one, the ing, ando, yendo. You have to know how to do the past participle, the ado, ido. You have to be able to take haber in the present tense, has, a, hemos, an. You have to take estar in the present tense, estoy, estás, está, estamos, están, right? And of course, we want you to know your present, preterite, and imperfect. Verb numbers 3, 4, and 5. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. Again, I'm throwing some seeds down. There are 10 things you can do to a verb. Of those 10 things, 7 are verb tenses. From 3 through 9, those are verb tenses. 0, 1, and 2 are not verb tenses. They're just infinitive, the ing form, and the ed, the allo, ilo form. But 3 through 9 are verb tenses. Present, preterite, imperfect, future conditional coming up, that's 6 and 7, and then present subjunctive 8 and past subjunctive 9. So there are 7 tenses. And guess what? Can you take the verb haber and conjugate it in 7 tenses? Yes. Can you take the verb estar and conjugate it in 7 tenses? Yes. So what we're looking at now is using these verb constructions, these compound verb constructions, basically in the present tense. This is when we say I have eaten, he comido, I am eating, estoy comiendo, I have been eating, he estado comiendo. Those are all starting off with the present tense. But I could say, I had not gone. I could take había. I could go imperfect, había. No había ido. I hadn't gone, okay? I should have gone. Hubiera ido. We're going to get to those. This is just a little inkling of what's coming, okay? So there you go. The verb universe, 0 through 9. The fabulous 4 are our 4 types of verb constructions. So what do we know? There are 10 things you can do to a verb. Of those 10 things, 7 are verb tenses and 3 are not. The 3 that are not are the 0, 1, and 2. The infinitive, the ing, and the ed forms. Okay? And we know that we have 4 types of verb constructions. When there's only one verb involved, it's called a simple tense. It's simple. It's just one verb. When it has 2 verbs, it's either going to be perfect, haber plus your allo, ido, or progressive, estar plus your ando, yendo. If it's 3 verbs, it's going to fall down here, and it's going to be your perfect, progressive verbs, right? It takes the perfect because it's haber, progressive because it's estar, and it's got the ing. Okay? That's a lot, and it's a little, but the bottom line is we never, ever teach a lesson and forget about it. We always go back over familiar territory. And the more we go over it, like breaking in a pair of shoes, like swimming, tying your shoes, the more you do it, the more you see it, the more you hear it, the better you get at it. Okay? Okay. Gracias, amigos. Se lo agradezco mucho. I really appreciate it. Love you guys tuning in. This is awesome. Stick with me. I know what I'm doing. These systems work. I've taught all my life, well over 40 years. I have produced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that speak Spanish fluently with my systems. Trust me on this. Hang in there. You're doing great. Keep it up. We'll see you soon. Hasta luego.